Hi there, welcome to Modern Workplace Tips, quick how-to demos. I am your host, Michael Giannotti. As always, today is brought to you by PowerPoint Recording, the easiest way to capture ideas and process them as shareable video. For today, deliver rich live events for corporate training using Microsoft Teams. Today's presentation is the second in a series. We actually published the first one already around using rich media live events from Office 365. It's a 5-part series. As I mentioned, today's is covering delivering rich live events for corporate training using Teams. Previously on Michael on the Go, we discussed Office 365 live event use cases. And through this series, we're going to explore each of those use cases and the configuration of those, as well as a final one on extension. And so you can see the 5 here, including ramp up employee engagement with Yammer live events. We're going to have enterprise class corporate communications with Stream live events. And then finally, as I mentioned, we'll conclude it with customizing those experiences. As always, a disclaimer: any views and/or opinions demos in this video are purely the expressions of Michael Giannotti and not necessarily my employer. Demos are as is, use at your own risk. All right, so here we are. We're looking at a new meeting that we've spun up in Microsoft Teams. So you can see we have the pop-up dialog, and typically we would schedule a meeting, say where we want it. It would actually allow us to have a Microsoft Teams meeting with multiple people, audio and video talking to each other, all the type of things that we might want to do. However, when you do get the preview turned on within your tenant, and when we go live, you'll notice a second option. So to configure and to deliver broadcast for corporate training via Microsoft Teams, they've tried to make this very easy. They're taking into account, hey, these folks may not have domain expertise in video and webcast delivery. That's okay. So we're going to utilize a tool you're already leveraging. Also, that the folks doing training may not have a broadcast studio or other high-end equipment. They've got a computer and they need to deliver training to thousands of people within their organization or even potentially externally. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to New Meeting. We're going to click the drop down, and you'll notice we have an option to say a new live event. We're going to click Preview, or click that, and it's going to bring up this, and it changes the interface just a bit, right? So first of all, we can give this a title. So we'll call this, we'll say this is Microsoft Teams 101 Training. Maybe I'm going to have, several thousand, 5, 6 or more thousand folks in my organization are going to tune in for training around Microsoft Teams. And so we're going to give it our name here. The next thing is we can give it a start date and a time. And so today is the 17th that we are recording this. And we'll say for that start time, let's say make it 3:30. Then we're going to end this event at 4. We're not even going to take that long. Then we can give it details. So we can go ahead in here and provide some details that we want to give to our users and to our organizers, on our event team as well. So we're going to go ahead here, type up some information. So we'll say this training is to facilitate new users to Microsoft Teams. During this session, you will learn the basics of collaborating within Teams. There we go. So we've got a nice little introduction. We can then invite people to our event group. When they say event group, these are going to be the folks who may be co-facilitators, co-presenters. Maybe it's somebody who's moderating if we're allowing for feedback chat, and they might be interacting with people and queuing up questions for presenters. But it's really around those people who are kind of running the show. I'm not going to add anybody else, but notice it did have me by default as the producer, so I can go ahead and do that. Next, we're going to go ahead and click Next. Once we've clicked Next, the next step is to then determine what type of presentation is this. So here are our permissions that we're going to set up. Is it specific people and groups within our org that we want to invite? So we can go ahead and we could add specific folks. Is it organization wide? Maybe this is a training for everybody, right? So we can go ahead and deliver that, and that way, as long as they're authenticated users in our environment, they'll be able to, just by virtue of a link that you could put on your homepage or elsewhere, click and actually go and view that broadcast. Or is it public? Live event will be open to anyone, used when most of the attendees are outside of your org. No sign-in. This is anonymous access. So I can allow users external, maybe they're customers. If we're talking about a hospital environment in healthcare, maybe they're patients. Maybe we're doing, as a large pharmaceutical, maybe we're doing a broadcast symposium for some of our partner research organizations, et cetera, to bring them up to speed on some things that we're doing and initiatives coming up. And they're external to our org. This way, as long as they have the link, they can click and view the broadcast. All right, so we'll go ahead and then we're going to take that. I'm going to go ahead, for our case, we'll just make this a public one. Maybe we're teaching external folks how to use this. Then we have the two live event production types. For today, we are focusing on using Microsoft Teams. So we're not only setting it up here, we want to use Teams to deliver the broadcast. So what you can see here is that I can go ahead and in Quick Start, this is the one we're going to use for that. It says you're using one or more webcams or cameras connected to your computer for streaming video. It's really a basic setup, right? Within that, I can go ahead and say I want to have a recording available for download, video on demand once it's done, and Q&A if I want to provide interaction. Having said that, if we desire, we can also use an external encoder. That's the secondary option. We're going to be hitting that in the final one with corporate enterprise communications. But with that, this allows us to use any system that uses RTMP, that's real-time messaging protocol, and that allows us to be able to go ahead and, in that case, use a client like OBS or a system like NewTek or any of them and output that, and then we can do full-on broadcast, studio-type broadcasts using sophisticated hardware and software, etc. So that's available if we desire. We're not going to do that. We're doing this. This is for our corporate training, and we're taking for granted that this is not the domain expertise webcasting of these folks. They're here to deliver a message, so we're making it simple. Once we're done, we're going to go ahead and click Schedule. And that's it. Boom. Once that's been done, notice it says here it is, our Teams 101 training. We can get an attendee link. So this particular link is actually going to provide, if I click that, copy to clipboard, that is a link to a web page that's been generated that attendees simply go to and they can view and then post questions there as well. Look, it's even popped up since I scheduled it. It also set up in Outlook a view to that. We'll go ahead and dismiss that. Yeah, we're not doing that. We have resources after the event. Those will show up in here as well. And again, there's the organization. Now, once we've done all that, we can join to begin the broadcast. We can open up a chat window here, or we can edit our settings. But we're going to go ahead and pause for a moment, and then I'll open up and have this ready. We're going to do the join piece, but I don't want to show you my production instance here. So we're going to go ahead and stop and then move on. All right, so now that we've set up our meeting, I've gone ahead and minimized my Microsoft Teams here so that we don't show anything that we shouldn't. But you'll see here, here's that meeting I set up, and I'm going to go ahead and click and open it. And it's going to render and give us some of that information it called for earlier. So now we're ready to begin to broadcast that meeting. Now, as I mentioned, we got a link that we could use, anywhere we wanted. So we could place that, for example, we could create a Outlook calendar invite and then just create a hyperlink. You could say the title of the meeting, Microsoft Teams 101 training. And then we could, highlight it and add the hyperlink, and this would be it. You could do that for a web page, however you choose to for your users. But the important part is, what is it going to take to deliver this? Well, it's pretty simple. So I've clicked this open, and as a member of the team, I simply click join. So that is going to show up for any of our team members. Now notice it says, we recommend you unmute your mic. That way people can hear me. We can also add video. So there I am with my reading glasses on. So you can be scared, be properly frightened. But now I'm ready to join. It says join as producer. Choose your audio and video settings. And if I had other devices, I could do that as well. I'm going to click join now. And it's going to change. It's connecting to the service. Once it does that, it's now going to then change the whole user interface. So what's happened in the back end is it's set up Azure Media Services. There we go. And so with Azure Media, and we can go full screen with this, and let's get that out of the way. This is really our palette for delivering a video. So you can see here it says Microsoft Teams training. We're pre-live. We have here add video or content. So if I wanted to, I can select this, select that. Now I've got video. Maybe, and that's we're doing full video from a single source. Perhaps I want to have content, right? So let's go ahead. We want to share some content. Maybe we'll share, I don't know. Let's look on our desktop. It's looking for stuff that's already open. Hopefully this won't blow it up by opening that. Well, let's open up another PowerPoint. So I'm going to go back to my desktop here. This was one that I delivered the other day. We can just use that. There we go. Come on back here while that's opening. So I'm going to go back and then reshare. There we go. Modern workplace tips. I can do my screen. We'll just do that. We'll add our screen, desktop. That one didn't fully open, so we're not going to mess with that. And then I can select here, add content. There's my content, add video. So now I'm able to go ahead and actually set this up, right? So now anything that's being demonstrated on my desktop is going to be made available. And that's actually my secondary window. So I have a primary and a secondary monitor, and I've added that. So now we're giving video and screen sharing. If I had additional folks who had joined, I would see their heads. So I could literally toggle between the different people who were showing and presenting, either as a part of a window or full screen. When I'm ready, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say send live. That's initiating now the connection. So now you can see it's going ahead. It's going to preview what's happening and showing us what we're actually doing in this live event. I'm going to put my mouse over there, so I don't know if you can see that moving around. There that is. We'll take just for giggles, so you can see that we have content over there. There we go. So part of our desktop sharing. There's that URL that we had here, but we're all ready. This has made the connection. This is what the stream is going to be like for our users. We also have above show the Q&A. So if I want, I can show the Q&A. So as users attend, when they click on that web page, if they post questions, I'll see them here. And then I can respond to those questions, right? We want to move that over here. I can broadcast a message to all attendees who might be in here. I can say, welcome to the broadcast. We will begin in 1 minute. There we go. We'll say announce. That's going to go out to everybody. And you notice it came from the moderator. And then we can again have people that are here posting things. We can also take a look at any meeting notes we might have. We can have conversations with our other panelists here. So we can spawn that up. And then if we need to draw people in and add people, we can show the participant pane, people who are adding, and we can actually pull folks in here as well. But when we're all done, all ready, everything's ready to go, we simply click start. Are you sure you want to start the live event now? We'll go ahead and it says, note, attendees start seeing the live event after a 10 to 20 second delay. And they have click to learn more. Real quickly, this is using Azure Media for real-time streaming. That's part of how we can scale to thousands and thousands of users, right? In this environment. So it's what they use on the internet to deliver large sporting events like the World Cup and others. We're going to go ahead and click continue. It's now starting the live event. And once that initiates, we'll be live. So it's making the connection. It's taking everything that's in this window, pushing it out as a single video feed that's going out now to Azure Media Services, and it's live now. So what we're showing is live, right? So now we can go ahead and we could begin talking to our users, etc. For those folks, though, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to copy this, and we are going to open up a view. Notice it says watch the live event. So I'm going to say no. If this live event doesn't open, try again. We'll go ahead and click that. And it's going to go ahead and make the connection for them from here. Just like when I deliver live events over the internet to our customers. And hopefully we're not going to choke my machine too much here because we're both broadcasting off a laptop and viewing streaming video and doing all the production end here. So it's checking credentials for this particular one. It's actually just going to let us in because we're anonymous. Again, my machine running a little slow. Dun, dun, dun. So it's initiating a view of Microsoft Teams in the web view. And again, here you go. You can see it's starting to do buffering. And again, I apologize. We are recording. We are screencast recording on this machine. We are broadcasting. And there you can hear me. Here we go. So we're running. We're live. We can actually go back and forth. I'm not going to mute it. You can hear me talking at the same time. But you can see we've got a whole bunch going on. If we wanted to do the chat, we can open up that here. So I'll say this is Mikey, ask a question. Is this great or what? And I can ask anonymously or not. We'll go ahead and click anonymously. Turn down the volume over on my speaker there. So we've gone ahead and we've asked that particular question. If I come on back, there you go. You see anonymous. Is this great or what? As the moderator, I can then reply, it is great. And then we can bounce that up there. Boom. And so then for that particular user, we'll come on back. And you can see there's the reply. So we have interaction. We have full desktop sharing for whatever we want to show on here. PowerPoint, other applications, corporate things. We can toggle between, full talking head, etc. So if I come on back to here, maybe we want to go back to this particular view. And we'll go ahead and make it full screen view there. Come on back. We'll see this change in just a few seconds. But it's a rich environment for doing all this right out of Teams. I don't have to be some kind of a guru. There you go. It says your speakers are muted. Unmute your speakers here, everyone. No, I don't care to do that. But provides a single environment for me to do everything and to be able to deliver this with very little overhead as far as training. I need to know how to use Teams. I need to know how to share my desktop, have a webcam, and that's it. Makes it simple, makes it streamlined. All that people need to view it is a browser. That's it. No special, hardware on their end, and then we're delivering. So with that, let's go ahead, and I can see there we're taking off my glasses. We're going to stop. And that was it. I mean, it was that simple, that easy to set up. So if you have not played around with Teams and the new live events, I encourage you to do so. It's quick, it's easy. A couple of folks in your IT shop could quickly get a handle on this, maybe work with some folks from your corporate training. If you think about the things you want to push out, maybe you're a large pharmaceutical and you want to train users on upcoming Office 365 features. You could do that quickly and easily just by sharing the desktop out of here. Maybe you're a hospital and you want to train, and go over some of the new procedures around HIPAA and other compliance things with your employees. Or maybe you have a new program you're rolling out around sterilization, of instruments, or, doing different things like that. You could go ahead quickly and easily deliver training to your folks with nothing else but Microsoft Teams. Now, certainly we can take this to a whole other level, and we will be when we get into delivering a corporate communications. But for now, you've seen quickly and easily how to do that. If you have questions around this, let me know. Or engage your Microsoft team. We would love to help you. I've already been working with a number of my organizations on implementing this. They're starting to work with it, some very large multinational orgs, as well as local and regional hospitals who are very excited about this new capability. So, talk to us. Let us help you. Help me help you do this. It's a great way to begin to train your org. If you have questions, like I said, around this, you want to interact with me online, you can find me in a couple of different places now. So, first of all, thanks for joining me. Here are the places you can follow me, and as well as some of my colleagues. So the first is the Modern Workplace in HLS, or Health and Life Sciences blog. You can find that at blogs.msdn.microsoft.com/healthblog. You can also find me personally on linkedin.com /in/Mike Giannotti. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Michael Giannotti, on Twitter at twitter.com/Giannotti. And finally, if you just want to see some of my goofy pictures I post, you can find me on Instagram at instagram.com/mgiannotti. But in all of these, if you send out a request to link up, to friend you, etc., I will readily accept and would love to interact, take your questions, not only around this, but around anything collaboration with Office 365. Ask and maybe we can do a video for you. So with that, thanks for joining me today. This has been Modern Workplace Tips with Michael Giannotti. I want to thank you, and until our next time, have a great day, take care, and ciao.